You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Athletes. Featuring in-depth interviews with athletes and members of the sports industry. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Athletes.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
So, this is where we rock. Come on, Ken, help us out. Snack with me.
I need a Red Bull.
Get a little.
So we get Ken a Red Bull, please.
Can we get a Red Bull?
I actually put a little bit of Jack in your cup.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, we start off the show with Jack. How's it going? Welcome to the Branded Athlete. I'm your host, Kevin John. I am joined today by the one, the only, to the left.
Ben Bateman, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Ben?
How you doing?
That was a great point there. All right, to the left of Ben is my other lovely co-host, Miss Brittani Johnson.
What's up, guys? And Ben, I see he dropped another button on that cleavage today. I love it.
It's getting lower and lower.
Lower, lower.
I'm going to have to change seats and sit somewhere else if you're going to keep getting lower like that.
Oh, it's
Is
just
that
getting
making you nice and hot and heavy over there?
It is not.
No? Okay.
But speaking of nice and hot and heavy, we are blessed to have a guest joining us today. A guest host. She is incredible. She's a fitness guru. She is a athletic guru and a host guru. Her name is Miss Madison Chase.
Madison Chase Fitness. That's right. You're a trainer to the stars and the star in you, and I'm also a voice of virginity. I know that doesn't matter, but it matters.
The voice of virginity is 100% irrelevant, but thank you for saying that.
It's like my hashtag.
It is your hashtag.
I gotta always say it. But I'm not the only important person here. You forgot one more person.
Oh, I didn't forget nobody.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a sequence of how we
almost forgot
introduce.
me.
We're
So
building up.
I mean, I just didn't know. I mean, I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's because some people come on time when a show is supposed to start at a specific time, you know. But that's no shade. That's not going to anybody. And speaking of on time, we are blessed to be joined with somebody who was right on time, 8 years in the NFL as a defensive back, a safety, and he's blessed to be sitting on the couch with us, former NFL star Kenneth Hamlin.
How are you doing? I you put my full government out there. I might have people looking for me, man. You can't be doing that. No, but I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you having me. I got a little bit more room than you all, so I'll be just getting comfortable over here. It's good.
I see you're lounging back there, man.
Just relax a little bit.
Kick your feet up.
Just don't
As
fall
long as you
asleep
don't
on
fall
us.
asleep on us, yeah.
I know, huh? I might have sit
It's
up
a comfy
little bit.
couch.
Yeah.
He can't fall asleep. Remember, he has that Jack in the cup. So,
Oh, yeah.
You know.
The Jack and the Coke.
Well, whatever it is. At any rate, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. As you see, we have a great time here. And, you know, speaking of having a great time, you know, we like to start off each show not just dancing, but we like to start off the show with just random things. We all experience random things in our life, you know, whether you're just a random person said something to you at the stoplight or a random event happened at work. On this show, we have random thoughts. And there's no better to better present us with the random thought of the day than Miss Brittani Johnson. So,
Okay, so my random thought of the day is about Dr. Joseph Maroon, or I would like to call him Dr. Joseph Moron. Now, he is the Steelers neurosurgeon, and he's on the and he's on the committee for the NFL for the head, neck, and spine committee or whatever. So he is employed by the NFL, and he was on the ESPN, I believe, this week, and he said that riding a bike is more dangerous than playing football.
Really?
Now, that to me is an idiot. I mean, I want to start off with saying, again, he's employed by the NFL, and a lot of parents nowadays don't want their kids playing football at a young age. I have several friends who played in the league for 10, 12 plus years, and they said their kids aren't playing football. So, and you know, last week Ben even talked about the league might not even be here in the next 20 years or so. So I wonder if he was saying that kind of just to give light to what football is. But I mean, there's been like over 70 CTE cases, and you know, you can't test for those after people have died over the last like 30 years. So I know you played safety in the NFL. What do you think of this? Like, is the NFL going to be around in 20 years, or do you think?
I think the league will be here regardless. Now, the way they play the game might change, but the league is going to be here. They're branding, and they're trying to go internationally, so they're getting bigger. That's not going to change. But Like him saying riding a bike is more. I've been on a bike, and I definitely can say it's not as dangerous as putting on the pads and playing football. But I think that, of course, the awareness is out there now. I think the lawsuits have made it more to where they have to be, conscious of what's going on in the league. And that's why you're hearing so much more about it. That's why you have some of these lawyers and doctors having to back the NFL a little bit more, because they want it to be around. They want it branded as a safer game so that more players can come in and play. And, of course, parents are, especially moms don't want their kids being out there playing anyway, but because of all the things that have came out, it's going to be even more of a big issue.
Go ahead.
I think it's very interesting that, this week, it kind of brought me to my random thought, because Chris Borland retired at 24 years old. Like, he was almost up. Like, he could have possibly been one of the defensive players of the year last year as a rookie.
Hugely promising player.
He, Patrick Willis, he's done at 30, and he could have had another 5 years in the NFL. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of interesting. And Jake Locker retired last week at 26. So
well, let's just say that Jake didn't retire because of
he was.
So that's not an issue.
Ken's like, let's tell the truth.
Yeah, he didn't retire because he wasn't getting a job. That's why he retired. But another thing with Borland, I look at him and you say after a year of playing, basically 6 months of playing in the NFL, you've done research and now you don't want to play anymore.
Right.
That's shocking to me after you've played all this your entire life. You've had injuries wherever you were, high school, college. You play 6 months in the league and all of a sudden you've gotten this research that you don't want to play anymore.
I think it's a different level of playing, though. Like, you're playing against the biggest, fastest, strongest guys in the whole entire world. Like, that has a lot to say for itself.
You see this face?
But is there something that you guys aren't getting? Are they not giving you all the information that you need? Because if he had to go and get outside research and figure stuff out on the outside, are you guys not being told what you need to be told as far as your injuries and not playing? The average player lives to be 50 years old. The average white male lives to be 78. The average black male lives to be 70. Football players, 50.
Yeah, I'm going to pass that number, so that's not a problem. No, but you know what? You're not given information unless you go and ask for it and really demand it. And now you're getting it more now, but in the past, when I first got in the league, first off, concussions wasn't talked about. I mean, you sit there and got your bell rung, your coach look at you, say, hey, how many fingers I got up, get back in the game.
Right.
It wasn't even an issue. So, like I said, the lawsuits have made it more aware now to where, they have to sit there and act like they care. That's the biggest thing. They have to. And if you look at it, it's still players that, are leaving the game and the game isn't worried about what they're doing now, what they're doing, after the years have passed. So it's just about the next guy up.
I mean, you were a star at Arkansas, and you got into the NFL, and as a guy that was heralded in college for being one of the biggest, strongest, fastest, best players at your position.
Why, thank you. I'm gonna get that check for you. You
had to have gotten into the NFL with the Hawks, and just found that the guys you were hitting it wasn't like hitting like younger, smaller trees. It was like running into a huge tree trunk, right? I mean, there's giant people where you're running your head into something that weighs twice as much. It didn't feel different?
Well, no, you know what? The biggest change, and it wasn't the size. I mean, me being in SEC, we played against guys that were big, fast, strong.
Right.
I mean, so the level of the game in that aspect wasn't different. We had big guys. You had guys that, I mean, you couldn't believe that you were hitting in college. The biggest thing in the game was the speed of the game, the quickness that you had to think a little bit faster. You couldn't think as much and then react. You had to react a lot faster in this game and in the NFL. That's the biggest thing that was the biggest change. Guys even now, you see all these high school guys that are so big, and I look at them and wondering how are these college guys basically playing in high school because they're that big, they're that strong. And it's just, that's never going to change. I think that the size of a player is not going to change. That's always going to be the same, whether you're in high school, college, or the NFL. Now, your brain and how you use it is going to change. That's going to be different because you're going to use that strength that you have a little different.
Ken, at any point throughout your NFL career, did you ever fear your personal health, or your cranium, or anything pertaining to that? Did you ever seriously fear?
Playing the game? No.
Injury.
Injury-wise, I had a major injury when I was in Seattle. Off the field.
Off the field, yeah.
So Other than that, on the field, no. Off the field, after my incident and after really, diving into what was going on with me, I wanted to play. So it really wasn't a factor on, if I was going to come back. It was when I was going to come back. So, I did everything that I needed to do to get myself healthy, get myself to where, I was confident to go out there and play the game like I would play. Mm-hmm. And that was physical, throwing my body around, hitting people. And I came back and did the same thing.
You did. Came back with a vengeance, too. Now, first of all, someone's going to turn off a phone. It's
my alarm. But I had a question. So speaking of, training.
We don't have time. So anyways, moving on. I'm joking, Madison.
This might be your last interview that I set up with you. So,
I had to get it.
Yeah, no, you didn't. So speaking of training, the training has changed when it comes to preparing to hit people and your position. So can you talk about the training aspect of football players?
The training comes because you don't want to get fined. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. But in the league, that's the biggest thing. And especially like Pee Wee, the developmental ages that are getting taught this new style of it's not new, but the real way to tackle. Mm-hmm. That's changed because now you've got to slow the game down a little bit, especially defensively. You got to slow the game down to tackle properly, which is. It's putting us in a disadvantage on the defensive side. It's making it to where, offensive guys, you got a lot of wide receivers that are getting a lot more confident now because before you never know, they never knew who was going to hit them, how they were going to hit them, and now it's a certain area that they can get hit. Yeah. And, of course, if a guy's going 100 miles an hour to go catch the ball and this guy going 100 miles an hour to hit him, he has to slow down to make sure he hits him in a certain way, in a certain time, a certain area.
Now, you said something earlier about 20 years will the game still be around. I still think the game will be around. However, I think they will be playing it with flags and that you would have to pull them in order for there to be a tackle.
Well, I played that game. I should go pro in that one. My cheer team played every year.
Look at you get it.
Yeah, I said the quarterback was probably going to be about 10, 20 years. The quarterback was going to be in the booth, and they were going to have a virtual guy, on the field.
You never know. It could be an avatar type thing, right?
I'm saying.
Helmets on.
Hall of Famers start to come out of retirement. It's only flags, right?
That is right. That is why I'd be willing to say that more people are killed on bikes each year than on the football field.
There's way more people that play on bikes than in football.
And I think it depends on what city, because in Los Angeles, people on bikes get hit way more often.
Yeah.
That's because people on bikes in LA think they're cars and they'll get in lanes.
They do.
Carpool lane. I'm like, you're on the freeway on a bike. How's it?
None of these statistics are endorsed. Or
AfterBuzz, for that matter. I'm like, no.
Well, speaking of endorsement, there's a big endorsement that we need coming from a big topic coming up. What can you do to, make the NFL safety, or what can you do to do a lot of things? Ben, what can we do with this next segment coming up?
This segment's one that I'm going to be introducing called What Would It Take? And this is something we're doing every week, talking about a sports scenario that is somewhat maybe unlikely. And what series of events would have to come up for this to happen? So this year we have the two number one seeds in the NBA, the Hawks and the Warriors. Only twice in the last 25 years has it happened that you've seen the number one seed from the East and the West meet in the finals. As well as that, these are two facing the basket jump shooting teams. In the playoffs, when the game slows down, it gets harder and harder to make it through for a team that shoots a lot of threes, a 4-round-1 strategy. Mm-hmm. What's it going to take for these two teams to meet in the NBA Finals? That's my question.
Well, I think the Hawks are going to go to the finals because if you look at between their 1 and 2 seed, there's about 9 or 10 games in between them. So I think they kind of have that one in the bag. I don't really think Cleveland's going to just come up and I don't know. I just don't. I see the Hawks going. As far as the West is concerned, between teams or 1 through 6 seed, there's 10 games. So that's a closer, margin there. And I think everyone in the West is good. There's still teams that are like 9, 10 ranked that I think can still make the playoffs. So. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see Golden State making it as easy, but I definitely see the Hawks in the East.
Yeah, that's true. Madison, did you want to add on to? You had that look in your eye.
Dallas Cowboys.
I liked her.
I mean, that's all I have to say.
Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys. They're great 3-point shooters too. I mean, Des Bryant has great range from the outside. He makes every game. Tony Romo.
He's part of the Splash Brothers.
Brothers, right? Yeah. Romo and Bryant. All right, but I'll just say this real quick. I think one of the things that you touched on was their style of play, and can that style of play succeed and have endurance throughout the playoffs and ultimately get to a finals. Well, the only team that I can really think of that ran a similar offensive up-tempo scheme like that was the Phoenix Suns circa Steve Nash era. This was 04, 05, 06 with Amari, and everything was fast. They would put up 110 points a night, very effective. Funny thing, they never made it to the finals. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, I want to say, a year or two. Against the Spurs, exactly. But they didn't ever get to the final step. And the Spurs, it's funny, ironically, they're the exact opposite. They're a slower team, but they play extremely good together. So when it comes to, I guess, what two teams can potentially end up, I don't think this will be the year that the two number one seeds will end up in the finals. I think we're going to have to wait a while because I think that Cleveland is going to make a serious run out of the East. They've been looking great, gelling together, playing together well, and they have, obviously a lot of veterans on there. And out of the West, I think, I don't know. I honestly want to throw the Spurs in there because somehow Tim Duncan, no matter how old he is, whether he has a walker on the court, that guy takes care of business.
Well, the question is, what would it take? So, Ken, what do you think? What would it take for those two teams to meet up? I mean,
well, it would take LeBron going to the Bahamas for a couple of weeks for vacation. I look at it. It would take them to both have unbelievable finishes, and I don't think Atlanta has a lot of. Well, they have power, but they don't have a lot of high power to stop a team with a lot of veterans like a Cleveland. I mean, I think that they have a squad that can turn it on when they want to, really. And right now, they're trying to put all the pieces together. They're trying to figure out their whole nucleus, which is it with Kevin Love, playing a certain way? Is it without him? And they're trying to figure out all the pieces to that puzzle. But once they do, I think they're going to be unstoppable. And in the Golden State, it's going to take Curry to really put him on their back. It's going to take him to really. I mean, he's going to have 40 and 50-point games consistently, and I don't know if you're going to see that out of a guy like that when you can put some defensive guys on him. A team that's going to really challenge is going to be Memphis. And they're always going to be a team that's going to challenge because they play defense great. They got two big guys that are going to play down low, real aggressive, and you got Tony Allen who's going to play defense for them. So that's a team that's going to. So it's going to take a lot of vacation time for a lot of other players, for these guys to sit there and make it. Yeah.
No, I 100% agree, and I think the key word you said in there was defense, and I haven't been sold on the Warriors' defense. So in regards to what would it take,
sold on their defense.
I am not sold. I am not sold.
Are you sold on their offense? Because as long as they're putting up 120, 115 points, I mean, they're in the game.
But you know what they say, offense sells tickets, defense wins games.
Thank you, Brittani.
And championships.
Drops mic.
There you go.
Drop the mic. Go ahead, Ben.
This would be my thought. So the Warriors are number one in offensive and defensive efficiency. We haven't seen that this late in the season with any team since the 72-10 Bulls. So that's the best team in the history of the NBA. So you have a good shot there. Now, 3 times in the last 3 seasons before April have 2 number 1 seeds faced off. And in that game, the winner of that game has won the finals. That just happened this week with the Hawks, the 3rd time. I think the Warriors are going to win the finals. I think the Warriors probably will end up playing the Cavs. I don't think the Hawks have that gear, that playoff gear they have to get to. It's a great team it's a great team of all-stars. It's not a team of superstars.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think Kyle Korver is very important. They're not as good defensively. And ultimately, I just don't think you can contend with the amount of talent that the Warriors have. And that's why I think the Warriors are going to win. So.
They may splash it on home. We'll see what happens, But like I said, I definitely include your Cavs in there, and the Western Conference, we'll see.
They have the best player. I mean, that's LeBron James, the best player in the game. So it's hard to beat.
I would maybe beg to differ that, but that's another debate. All right. So, Ken, we want to hop into you a little bit. Even though you're looking relaxing back there like you're on vacation.
Let's go.
We talked a lot earlier about these illegal, about these hits across the middle, receivers going. In your first NFL start, and I think you know where I'm going with this, you made it known to the world that I am here to play, and you totally took off a Star Wars helmet.
Yeah.
And an extremely hard hit. Did you purposely do that to make a statement that, I'm here?
You remember the bitter beer man's face? That's how his face. I just think about we talk about it all the time, and he's a good sport about that because it gets brought up a lot. But I went into the league and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just another guy, that was coming in and playing the game. So I wanted to make a statement, and I had every intention on making it early. It wasn't just going to be just that play or something. I wouldn't have a specific play, but just in that game, I think the first couple of games, I really went out and wanted to be aggressive, wanted to make sure that, hits has been my thing since I was at Arkansas, since I was in high school. So I wanted to make sure to put my stamp on it, and it sort of.
I think you did more to put your stamp on it.
It took off from there. So yeah, it was a good start, and I think it really put a brand on the type of football we wanted to play.
Mm-hmm. And that was a brand of smash mouth over the middle.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can't let receivers just run across the middle and be comfortable, and it just wasn't that type of game.
Would you be fined for that nowadays?
Oh yeah, I'd probably be sitting down for a game or two. That hit would no.
Okay. Now, it's funny. Another thing you referenced earlier was the fact in 2005 you had some off-field injuries that occurred, and that happened to be the season that the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That's what I was going to say. How was it to? I mean, you want your team to make it to the Super Bowl, but did that make it more difficult? The fact that they made it the year when you endured that.
That was tough. I mean, we basically played with our practice squad safety. In the Super Bowl, and to watch it and to see some of the struggles that we were having, not just at that position, but in the game itself, but at that position itself, and you can't. It's not a joystick that you can have and control that guy while he's out there, because you see him, you're like, oh, don't do it, and it's too late. So, I mean, I was really frustrated. I was frustrated of not being able to be there, but it was just it was a tough game to watch, tough season to be a part of, but it was still a successful season.
Now, did you give him any pointers at all? I don't know if it's kind of like a taboo to almost like tell your possible competition, you know what I mean, how to play the game.
Right.
Well, one thing with me is that I don't mind giving pointers to somebody else. I mean, I don't mind helping the next guy. Even in Dallas, I helped out all my teammates, regardless if they were behind me or beside
Cowboys.
me. My thing is,
I like that.
It doesn't matter about that because I'm gonna think quicker than you. I'm gonna play the game a different way than you, and I'm gonna make the decisions, and I'm gonna be more of an all-around player so that your assets that you have aren't gonna be better than mine.
So basically, instruct them, teach them, but at the end of the day, you got the better package than they did.
You can give them the little nugget. You can give them little tidbits here and there. But I mean, it's about how they include it into their game. Mm-hmm. And some of them don't take that information and do it like how I would. So it's just about that input and how they really put it out there. And it's it's some guys that really take it and run with it, but they still play it a different way. They still do it a different way. They still see things because they don't see with my eyes. Mm-hmm. So it's just different.
That 05 Super Bowl is notorious at this point for being one of the
terrible game.
Well, this is what I want to ask you. So, I'm from Seattle, and if that game even ever comes up, it's the sort of thing. It's like the final play of the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I just don't even want to talk about it because you talk to your blue in the face, right?
You get pissed. Yeah.
So, having been on the team and not being able to play in the game, how do you handle that if that comes up? You talk to a Steelers fan, it comes up at a party or something like that. Do you just try to walk away? I
got friends that were on that team that I still have to see to this day, and I just tell them, what happened. I mean, we were basically cheated.
The ref came out a few years later. He apologized for 5 calls.
At training camp, and the 5 of them were huge,
ridiculous
calls. I mean, we basically a 17-point swing.
They were game change. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a 17-point swing just about. I mean, and we lost by 10. Yeah. I mean, so they took away touchdowns. I mean, you don't just do that. The 4th and goal that Roethlisberger didn't even make it in. We challenged it. Mm-hmm. He still didn't make it in. They still called it a touchdown. I mean, we had a touchdown in the back of the end zone. They called it offensive pass interference. They called one holding penalty when it was no holding anywhere to be found, and we got the ball on the 1-yard line.
Now, were they watching the game? Or
I don't know. I remember because every now and then it still comes on, and like HBO or something, and the NFL Films is on the sideline, and I'm right there on the sideline, and I look at the camera and said, "Are y'all watching this?" And my friends will text me or something like, "Man, I'm watching this game," or whatever. Like, it's hilarious. I'm like, it's not that funny. Yeah. I'm like, I'm really not laughing.
Which is funny because the Seahawks happen to be involved in the other most controversial Hail Mary of all time.
Yeah, there's no controversy in that. It's just stupidest play in the history of the game.
Absolutely. I think that's the way to sum it up.
Let's move on from talking smack with the Seahawks.
I see you just keep going. But no, honestly, I mean, congrats. I mean, the fact that you guys, you could forever say, that your team played you were at 2005 NFC Champion.
Yeah.
And no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, NFC Champion. You can basically say that. That's basically saying that you were second place. it's I don't really like my ring stays in my closet. I don't even bring that ring out. It's a beautiful ring. Don't get me wrong,
but it ain't a Super Bowl ring.
It isn't, which is true. Now, speaking of your closet, we know that you are. I like the little laugh there. Speaking of your closet, we know that you are quite a dapper dresser.
I try a little bit.
Yeah, well, you succeed, my brother. And since your playing days have
Kevin wants to borrow some clothes, basically.
Thanks for getting to it.
I saw you were struggling over there, so I just had to. I got you.
Kev's like, real talk. What do you think about the vest? What do you think about the vest?
Just let me know.
So basically, my self-esteem has been damaged on this show. They make fun of my clothes every episode, so you gotta
stay with the times. You gotta keep recreating yourself. I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying you just gotta keep rolling. If they get on you about it, just keep growing.
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Exactly.
I'm not sure.
The shoes are nice.
Thank you. I try to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. So speaking of recreating and the things of that sort, you've been recreating yourself and your brand.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of entertainment stuff. I know you're doing some acting.
Yes.
And getting into that. I've seen you on quite a few red carpets, even in Phoenix. I think we saw you on a red carpet or two.
Yeah.
So explain some of these ventures and that you got going on.
Well, I've been doing broadcasting type of stuff even when I was playing, and now it's just more of a full-time thing. So I've dove into that heavy, just trying to get myself, accustomed to that whole style of employment, so that's been fun. I've actually had the opportunity when I was in at the Super Bowl. I was working with Sky Sports London. So I've been able to go over to London, work with them over there, which is, it's like a vacation to go back and forth from over there. And they have a nice network that really is open to bringing guys over and doing different things. So I got an opportunity to do the pregame show for the Super Bowl on the sideline, which is something that, coming straight out of, being my first real year of doing stuff, that was a real big honor. And then I just been doing stuff here and there. In Houston, I've been doing Comcast work. Been doing some work out here, just getting some other things going on. Got a couple of opportunities to be in a few movies coming up. So I'm
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Okay, all right.
It's it's a couple of one's just a short film, and another one's a nicer movie.
So it's a porno, okay. So
you got to get in the door somewhere. No, I'm just no. So it's some good opportunities that have been coming up. So it's good.
Now, can we talk about your acting class? Because I know that's such a hard transition. Because all your career, you used your body.
Yeah.
Now you're using your mind to really get into acting. Listen,
I was the most nervous person in the room, and this is the bad part about it. So I went to while I was here a couple weeks ago, I actually went to Tasha Smith's class, and. And I'm walking in, and of course everybody else is in there. They know each other.
Right.
They're comfortable. They're just around there, just talking. And I'll come sit down, and I'm like, all right, what's about to happen? And the first thing we do is a exercise where you just basically gotta just make noises in a circle with everybody, and they have to repeat like whatever you're doing, gestures, movements, no words, either noises, just movements. And I'm like,
I'm confused. So you make a noise, and they have to reciprocate that?
They have to. They have to copy whatever.
They have to emulate whatever you're doing.
Whatever you do, they have to copy.
Let's try this real quick. You start off.
No. So it's just, and I'm like, oh hell, like this is. This is not me. Like this is, and I'm thinking like, and one thing, like I tell you, my boy Keith, he would always tell me is like, you got to get out of your comfort zone, and don't even think about I'm just laid back, cool, and that's just me. Like I'm kicking back and just being relaxed. And he was like, you can't go in there thinking that way. And so it was a eye opener the first day. Because I was in there nervous. I think I was probably sweating like crazy. I'm like, oh my God, this is not it.
Would you say it was more nervous actually doing that than playing in the NFL?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
That's like your comfort zone, right?
Football, that's
You've
my
been doing
sanctuary.
that.
That's my sanctuary.
But still, there's so much. It seems like there's so much more pressure. In
but
football
he's been
than there
doing
is.
it probably since he was younger.
Even on my 7th and 8th year, I still got like butterflies. I got excitement when I played. Like coming out of the tunnel, that was the most exciting thing in life. You got 80, 90,000 people either booing or cheering for you, and I loved either one of them.
Right.
Boo me, I'm excited. Cheer me, I'm excited. I don't mind. It's cool. So, but it's just crazy
Just
that
don't be silent.
you have all those eyes on you. Mm-hmm. But it's just it's something that you enjoy, you love doing, and it's something that like she said, you're. I mean, you can get up and do this whenever. Yeah, you can do this whenever. So so it was something totally different.
Now, did you have like a pregame ritual that you did to kind of? Because I think for football, you have to get out of your head. You were talking about, I'm always in my head, but I think you kind of have to step out of that because. I honestly think it's insane to run full speed at another person and hit them. You know what I mean? So you can't be.
You gotta try it.
That's what football's all about.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think you have to be out of your head a little bit to do that. So what did you do before the game to kind of?
Crazy a little bit. Okay.
No.
All right.
What did you do before the game to kind of get yourself in that? Because you're not. Football players aren't like that 24/7. That's a stage for them as well. Like I think a football field is a stage.
Yeah, it's almost a switch. It's a switch you got to turn on. And before the game, of course, you got everybody listening to their own brand of music.
What was your music?
I listened to a mixture because I would listen to R&B, hip hop, a little country. Just whoever.
Country. See, I told y'all.
And in Dallas, I actually had one of our pro scouts. He would give me a little track or something, whatever, with a pregame mix on it every week, and it would be. He was like, "I'm gonna see if you know this. I'm gonna see," and it would be old school. It would be all type of stuff on it, and I would play that. Going to the stadium. When I get in the stadium, I put my own music on, but it was just different stuff. So doing that, you got your ritual on how you get dressed, how you do things. We one guy that I played with in Seattle, John Randall. His ritual was totally different. John Randall, it wasn't putting your own headphones on and you have your personal music. His was blasting throughout the entire locker room, and he didn't care who heard it. He was listening to Michael Jackson. He was painting his face, and he was on the treadmill running full speed. That was his thing. And I'm like, nobody's going to tell him to stop because he's a scary dude. You really don't know. So
it's funny that while being that intense, he's listening to Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Like I see he's listening to like AC/DC or Guns N' Roses.
And he's singing, and you're not gonna be like,
come on now.
you're not gonna laugh at him. You're just gonna walk by and be like, okay, that's John. All right, do your thing.
Wow.
So everybody has their own crazy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of them that get crazier than the others, but I'm not going that far into wearing same draws, all that stuff. Nah, we're not doing all that.
Hey, that worked for me in high school.
Oh wow!
I'm telling you.
You still wear the same ones now?
Yeah, every shoot, and my team will let me know if I'm wearing the same thing too. They're good at that.
Wow!
I don't know if you guys caught his vest today. It's the same one he had on last week.
Thank you. So I'm glad you brought that up. So Ken, you're a fashion expert, and we've seen that, man. What would you say? What would you say to help us men out who may be looking to? I don't mean to say throw you in that
because Ben
is swag.
He's a very dapper guy.
For the men that are watching,
you
want
me to talk to you? You want me to talk to you?
This is for the fans.
Ken, I gotta ask
honestly,
for a friend.
I just got a tweet. I got a tweet from Cowboys fan 923 that said,
"Is that your personal account?"
That's besides the point.
Can I have this friend?
You know what? My style, my style of clothing is. I mean, I look back at what I wore when I first got in the league to what I wear now, and I'm like, oh my God, I would never have worn that now, because it's changed, over time, and I've always just tried to look for new stuff. I always try to find new gear, and I don't like going to places that everybody's going. So I mean, that's the biggest thing is that I like to get a little bit different, and a lot of people want to get into the whole hip hop type style, and they're not comfortable dressing up. They're not comfortable putting a suit on. They're not comfortable.
Well, that's why David Stern. I know that's NBA, but that's why he implemented the dress code.
And you can still see it's sort of difficult for certain people. When you watch them walk into the locker room, you're like, okay, so you just threw on something simple.
Allen Iverson started it, and then it just
I want to ask one quick question, which is just on the subject of the acting, modeling, and stuff. We've seen a few guys over the last few years have a huge amount of success in a bunch of different avenues, maybe starting as musicians and to actors and athletes and all that. like, you know, the Will Smiths, the Jamie Foxxes of the world. Is there anybody you look to and you're like, that's kind of the career that I want, or that's a guy that's really done it right?
Well, I look at a guy that played football and was successful in football, and then transitioned over into a different career, like Michael Strahan, who
huge now.
I mean, he does.
Good Morning America.
Yeah,
That dude's like Matt Lauer now. I'm like,
he flies
geez.
coast to coast doing stuff. I mean, he's in New York, then LA, and he's back and forth. Just, I mean, and that, I mean, it takes a lot to go from playing a game, and then, you know, really changing your whole brand into being, okay, now I'm on TV without the helmet. Now let me show you me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you got the helmet on and you're out there playing, I'm a different person. Period. You know, so it's like refreshing to see a guy be able to do that and get on the screen and just, you know, when he's on the NFL Network or doing the NFL stuff, he's one type of guy, and then he goes and does the morning show or whatever, and he's, you know, a laughing, you know, funny type of guy. So it's good to see a guy like that that's been successful in another career, and it just hit just like that.
To kind of piggyback off that question, what would you say your dream job in Hollywood would be? You know, starring in a film, hosting your own television
Well, you know,
show.
I'm always, you know, and piggybacking off of his question to answer, you know, I'm always like a Denzel guy. So, you know, I'm you know, I get my Denzel on every here and there. So, you know, it's just the way
do a
it
line
is.
from Training Day.
See, look, why you trying to put me on the spot, man? This ain't acting class. Look, don't try to do me like that.
I'm trying to get you comfortable.
Try to get me ready. Oh yeah.
Just do an acting exercise for us.
Exactly.
That's terrible.
Well, speaking of putting you on the spot, there is something that we do at the end of every show where we put our guests on the spot. We do a rapid fire thing where we'll ask them 10 questions. They have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions, and we will time them. So,
got a clock right
if
here.
I do it in 30 seconds, what do I get?
Ooh, that's a good question. 30 seconds. What should we give him, Brittany, if he gets in 30 seconds? Madison, help me out.
We'll give you another shot of Jack.
We'll give you a BHL T-shirt.
No, I thought she was about to say you're going to give me a VHS. I was like, really? I was like, really?
No, that would be Kevin. Gonna give you a VHS.
I think we should have our special guest Madison do these.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you.
So who's timing it?
I got a clock right here. I got my eye on it.
Okay, so we'll wait.
We'll wait till it gets to the nine more seconds.
And then,
wow.
So there's 10
You got to
questions.
do it, top it out.
10
So
questions.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Celebrity crush.
Oh.
Okay, you already put
Janet
the 30
Jackson.
seconds.
Okay, good. If you weren't an athlete, you would have been a
Actor.
guilty pleasure.
Cooking.
Oh, if a movie was about your life, who would play you?
Movies about my life. Of course, Denzel.
Denzel,
Yeah.
yes. Favorite sports movie of all time?
Oh man, good Lord. Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best receiver you ever guarded?
Oh, Steve Smith.
Greatest
Good answer.
moment as an NFL player? Oh,
That's a minute.
that's
Oh, I'm about to say.
7.
Say it again.
Greatest moment as an NFL player?
Oh, bringing my mom to the game.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
Well, we're like, oh, okay.
Come on.
First
15
athlete's
seconds.
jersey you purchased?
Purchase? I got Jerry Rice.
Okay, most
10
annoying
seconds.
sound ever. The last text you received?
That it's not a house, it's a studio.
Yes! Cheryl Smith of L Group PR.
Yeah, that was almost exactly a minute. That was the closest we've ever had.
Everybody strikes out.
Everybody strikes
There are some people like
Congratulations.
Terrell Owens that took 3 minutes to do.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Come on,
He likes
T.
the spotlight, so
Yeah, he wanted to let it go a little
He's like
longer.
eating the popcorn. He's like, let it think.
Let me.
Best receiver, me.
He said Jerry and then him. Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of Spotlight, we're about to get out of the Spotlight because the show is coming to an end. Thank you so much, sports fans, for watching. We appreciate you guys tuning in to watch us every Friday. I'm Kevin John. You can find me on Twinstagram. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hey Kevin John. Ben, where can they find you at?
Ben Bateman. You guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media on Twitter and Instagram.
Brittany.
You can also find me on Twistagram. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at I am Britt Johnson. Also my website, BrittanyJohnson.com.
And I'm at MadisonChaseFitness.com, on Twitter, Madison Chase Fit, and YouTube, One Mad Chase, Instagram, Madison Chase Fitness as well.
Boom. Ken, where can we find you?
Ken_Hamlin, Instagram and Twitter. And of course, Ken Hamlin on Facebook.
Check this brother out.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Tweet, talk, keep the conversation going. We'll see you guys next week.
Twistagram.
Friday. Twistagram.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.